BBC Sounds.
Hello everyone, it's Michelle Visage and welcome to my podcast, Rule Breakers.
Put your foot down and be brave.
Celebrating women's voices.
You're very welcome to Now You're Asking with me, Marion Keys.
And me, Tara Flynn. This is juicy. No limits, no limits, no limits.
Celebrating women.
Where to Be a Woman is the podcast celebrating the best of women's well-being. We're on a quest to find out where in the world women are living their best lives.
Celebrate yourself. Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Hello, this is the Scottish Football Podcast, keeping you up to speed on all the stories that matter in the national game. It's Friday the 8th of March, I'm Amy Canavan, and here's what's coming up.
Fabio Silva chops onto the right glass and a cross chance! Rangers score! To John Sterling! And Rangers sensationally have their lead back here in the Deluge! Absolutely astonishing!
It's game on for Rangers after a thriller in Lisbon last night. Back on the domestic front, it's Scottish Cup quarter-final weekend.
Yes, we're not doing well at the minute. Confidence is a bit low, but hey-ho, one good result can turn that. So, let's get on with it, really.
Can Kilmarnock pile the pressure on Neil Warnock and Aberdeen? And
Martin Boyle races through, and Ellie Yuan taps in, and that is the cherry on top of the cake, and Hibernian are into the quarter-final draw.
Hibs lie in wait, but after their European exploits, can Rangers recharge in time for their trip to Easter Road?
This is the Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Sport Scotland.
Well, we're in safe hands today because it's the Goalies Union with Cammy Bell and Joe Lewis joining us. That is a joke that many a dad will be chuffed with. Morning, guys. Hope you're well. What in Scottish football are you both looking forward to this weekend? Cammy, I'll come to you first.
Oh, listen, it's so exciting this weekend, Amy. We've got the Scottish Cup back. For me, it's got to be touching on my old team, Kilmarnock, trying to get into the first semi-final since they won it back in '97. So that is a big task, and obviously beating Aberdeen 3 times already this season, that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Cammy, you're using all my stats early doors. Joe, let's hope you don't use any more of mine. What game are you looking forward to? It must be Pittodrie as well. Your eyes must be there.
Yeah, the same thing. It's going to be a great game. Obviously, Derek going back again and had a bit of joy recently against his old team. So it'd be interesting. Hopefully, Aberdeen can come out fighting, because they're really struggling at the moment, but that's definitely going to be the focus of my attention this weekend.
Absolutely, one of many crackers as ever. Plenty to get through with Cammy and Joe, but before all of that, let's quickly run through the latest Scottish football headlines. Rangers came close to a miracle in Lisbon, according to Philippe Clement, after his side were pegged back twice to draw 2-2 with Benfica in the first leg of their Europa League last 16 tie. Celtic winger Lila Bada has left Glasgow to join MLS side Charlotte FC for a reported £8 million fee. Another player to leave the champions is Argentinian fullback Alexandre Bernabé, who's joined Brazilian club Internacional on loan until the end of the season. Ahead of this weekend's Scottish Cup quarter-final, Neil Warnock says his struggling Aberdeen side need a bit of luck to go their way as they prepare to face Kilmarnock at Pittodrie. And Livingston boss David Martindale says his side will go to Celtic Park with expectation and hope, not with fear. Let's start with last night's game in Lisbon. Another impressive European performance by Rangers. Cammy, what did you make of their showing and ultimate result? Bringing a draw back to Ibrox. You surely would have bitten your hand off at that before kick-off.
Yeah, I think all Rangers fans, management would have bitten your hand off for that draw to take back to Ibrox. I think that's the beauty of the tie, that the second leg is at Ibrox. We know what it's like on a European night, so it was a good game. It was a really good game, end to end. Loads of chances, big moments in the game as well. I think obviously me and Joe being goalies, you touch on Jack Butland's performance again last night. Big games, big saves at big moments in the game as well. So he played his part. But again, defensively, Rangers stood up to a lot that Benfica was going to throw at them. They were under pressure to get a result, and I think it was a good performance and a good result for Rangers to take back to Ibrox.
Cammy touched on it there, Joe. Jack Butland, it was just another remarkably impressive showing, wasn't it, to add to his glittering CV that he's managing to really craft up while being up at Rangers.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic season, even at the start of the season when Rangers were stuttering a bit and not playing that well, he was probably the stand-up performer in the squad. So yeah, for him to carry on that, and obviously Rangers to pick up around him is really helping, because obviously quite often as a goalkeeper, your performance can be a little bit different to the team. You can play well, the team isn't playing well, and vice versa, obviously. But it's great for him now that the team is sort of caught up with him, and he's getting some results on the back of his performances. So yeah, he's been a massive part of their season. What a signing he's been. He's probably been one of the standout signings of the season for the league, if not the standout signing. And yeah, I'm pleased for the Goalies Union that someone's getting some praise.
Exactly, they can sometimes be the buck of the joke or get the flack for sure. Cammy, Philippe Clement did express his disappointment though. The goals that Rangers conceded, I'm going to ask the impossible question. Why is that penalty given against John Souttar last night? What is this game turning into? What is the Scotland International meant to do?
Yeah, it's difficult, Amy. It's when you see it back, obviously it hits his head and then goes onto his arm. He's leaning to try and win the header in a natural position. He would try and win a header for me. Yes, his arm's away from his body, but listen, I just don't want to see that be given as a penalty for any club or against any player. So the referees made the decision, but again, the positive for Rangers was the response. That was on 45 plus 2. Rangers then go up the pitch and score a great goal as well. And listen, you can say it's a little bit of luck from Silva getting the ball through defenders' legs, but Sterling makes a brilliant run, times his run perfectly, and it's a good finish. So again, there was a really good response. They'll be disappointed with that second goal they conceded, because it's almost a nothing ball into the box. It's easily defended. Communication wasn't great at the back, and Connor Golson doesn't know where he is and what's around him, and he sticks his head in it, it goes in the back of the net. So yes, I think that's why the manager's frustration will be coming to the front at the moment. But when he breaks it down and the result they've got over there, I think it's a good one and definitely gives them a huge chance of progressing.
And just finally on this tie, you mentioned that Benfica won't want to come to Ibrox. Tom Lawrence said the same last night. How do you see the second leg going? Do you think that Ibrox crowd can just give Rangers the edge and rack up yet another memorable result in Govan?
Yeah, I think, listen, it's absolutely electric on European nights, and they've had so much success recently in recent history. So Benfica won't want to face Rangers at Ibrox, having to go there and get a result. So that's always a positive. I think Rangers they've nothing to fear after last night. I don't think they've got anything to fear. Benfica can concede goals. I think Rangers, if they can get one or two players back as well in this short period of time to try and bolster that squad. But yeah, they've definitely got enough in their squad to get over the line and progress.
For everything you need to know about your team this season, download the BBC Sport app. All the latest news, goal updates, stats and scores, and insight and analysis. Just select your club to get the biggest stories and best content at your fingertips. What a result. Download the BBC Sport app for everything you need to know about your team this season.
All right then, let's get on to domestic matters in the game that everyone here has their eyes on. Aberdeen against Kilmarnock at Pittodrie, lunchtime on Saturday, live on BBC One Scotland. Joe Neil Warnock says the cup tie is a breath of fresh air away from their Premiership struggles. That may well be true, but the pressure is really still mounting from the stands, isn't it? And it will grow even more if there isn't success on Saturday.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the season sort of hangs on the cup for Aberdeen now. Of course, they've got the league to concentrate on, and they need to get themselves away from the trouble. I'd like to think that they're quite confident they can do enough and get away from that trouble in the league. So the cup obviously is going to be the huge one. I mean, to still have the opportunity to get European football would be incredible for Aberdeen. It feels so far away, but it's actually only three wins, and they've done it, which is simplifying it a bit more than it actually is, because you can't see 3 wins coming from Aberdeen at the moment. But like you say, it's the cup. It's a different competition, obviously, but hopefully they can just get in a different headspace than what they have been and approach it in a slightly different manner. Look at it as an opportunity and really kick on. So, but yeah, like I say, any Aberdeen fan that has been watching Aberdeen recently, there's not really been a good performance in a long time. There's been a few standout moments. There's been a handful of good performances all season. A couple of really good ones early part of the season, but yeah, it's been a real struggle so far. So they really need to turn things around.
Where are you personally at with Neil Warnock right now, Joe? He's expressed his desire to finally win his first trophy. Obviously, the Scottish Cup is the only way he can do that up here. Do you think he can still salvage Aberdeen's season?
Well, yes, and this cup is the one bit that he can. If things don't go well this weekend, then it's going to be a real tough slog to the end of the season. You know, when he was appointed, I thought, do you know what, that's not a bad shout. You know, I'd love to come in here and have all the answers for Aberdeen, but it's been really so difficult, and I think it's a real big job for whoever does take it in the summer. But yeah, it is possible to turn it around. We saw it last season with Barry Robson. The season was heading in a similar direction, and he came in and we won 7 in a row maybe, and managed to clinch third place. Now we're not going to clinch third place, but we've seen how things can change quickly like that. Now I don't think the manager's going to change. The manager's going to stay in position, I would imagine, to the end of the season, unless things go drastically wrong. But you know, the club have got an opportunity to win a trophy still, and however far away that looks, it's 3 games. And like I say, the performances haven't been there, but if anyone can turn it around, I think Neil Warnock's got the magic and got the experience to find something from nowhere.
And a flip of fortunes, Cammy, Derek McInnes has certainly had the magic this season. He's having an exceptional time down at Kilmarnock, as you say. A chance for them to reach a Scottish Cup semi-final for the first time since 97. This would just be another massive green tick beside his name, wouldn't it? The man just cannot do wrong right now in the eyes of Killie fans.
Yeah, no, he's been incredible since he's came to the club. He had that transitional period, obviously getting them over the line and getting them up, and then that transitional period of a lot of players that maybe were of championship quality and not Premier League. But again, he got a turn out of them guys to do well enough to stay in the league comfortably. And then he's just progressed from there. It's been brilliant this season. It's been really, really positive. Big results against both Old Firm. Again, 3 wins against Aberdeen, such a big club like Aberdeen. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. And again, what he will want to do is try and get the progression in the cup. That's where he wants. He knows that's where Kilmarnock fans want to go. They want to do well in the league and they want that 4th spot. But the cup just gives them so much joy. They've seen that over the years when they've got to finals. That's where Derek sees that he can next progress with Kilmarnock.
On Sunday now, and Celtic host Livingston. Is anyone seeing anything other than a home win here, Cammy?
No, again, I can't see anything but a home win, Amy. I think if it had been away, then it would have been a stickier tie for Celtic. Listen, David Martindale, he's right in what he's saying. They can't go there fearing it's a cup game. You can't go there fearing and thinking you're going out with the cup. You've got to give it a go. You've got to get your tactics right. You've got to ride your luck. But there's always an opportunity, but I just think Celtic will be far too strong. And again, this is one that Brendan Rodgers really needs to win, and he's got to set his eyes on getting the Scottish Cup to keep the Celtic fans happy as well.
Livy won't make it easy for them, as we know. It'll be a fight. I was at McDermott Park last week and Craig Levein said that the ball shouldn't have bothered turning up. That's how much of a fight it was. There was no football played whatsoever. Their priorities will be lying elsewhere. They very much still are in a relegation scrap, Joe. But this could be the little turning point, is that they really need to go on a run as the split approaches, doesn't it? And that win against Partick Thistle in the last round showed a lot of grit, a lot of desire that could really spark them.
That's what you expect from one of Davies' teams. You expect the character, you expect the fight and the desire to go win games. I remember when he first took over, you know, they were such a difficult team to play against, and they gave you absolutely nothing at them. And at the moment, they've given away some really cheap goals, and that was just never in their makeup at all when he first took over. So I feel for him. I do feel for him because it's a tough place to be. But if they can start to show that fight and that, you know, say just get stuck in and show that drive and determination that they really, really want to get out of the position they're in. And of course they want to, but you've got to go out there and make it happen. And his sort of teams do that. And like I say, I remember when he first took over, that how difficult they were to play against, how direct they were. And and it was just so effective. They would turn you and just be on the second balls, and they were relentless. And if they can get anywhere near where they were in that position at that time, then they can give themselves a fighting chance, because he won't give up, that's for sure.
Certainly David Martindale won't be going down without a fight. Rangers, as we say, travel to Easter Road to face Hibs on Sunday evening. This really should be a cracker, Cammy, but just how tough will it be for Rangers to go again after such a exhausting performance last night? There's the travel element as well. It's thick and fast, but Luke Clement is really creating a winning culture at this club.
Yeah, he absolutely is, Amy, and yes, it's thick and fast, but the players will be up for the challenge. We've seen it before when they've went to the last stages in European football, that they can still do it domestically as well. So it's one that Rangers need to win. It's a cup game. The fans they'll go there expecting to win. It's going to be a difficult game because Hibs have got very good players. They've got a real attacking threat. I think Hibs' Achilles heel this season has been defensively. Balls into the box have not been great at dealing with it. Recently, they've actually started to deal with that a little bit better. So they'll need to be defensively strong against Rangers. But yeah, Rangers will go into this one confident, wanting to get to the next round, because listen, they're looking at their trophy cabinet and trying to fill that up this year. So, and the opportunity's still there. So it'll be an absolute cracker, as you say. I'm looking forward to that one.
Another one of your old sides in Hibs. They've found a wee bit of form recently, haven't they? Unbeaten in their last 5. Nick Montgomery's January signings really having an impact. Malida and Marcondes in particular up top. They just seem to be turning the screw at the right moment, don't they?
Yeah, they have been, and they've been slowly improving. I think for a long period of time it was very inconsistent under Nick Montgomery. To find his style, he's changed his formation slightly as well. So yeah, they've definitely turned the corner a little bit. As I say, defensively, when he first took over, and all season they've been poor, but he seems to have sort of rectified that a little bit short term. And yeah, they're starting to get results, which brings confidence, and they're at home, Amy, so that always brings confidence. The fans at Easter Road will get behind them. They'll know it's a big game, and again, it's an opportunity for Hibs to get into a semi-final of the Cup. What a huge chance for them to go and try and make history again.
Absolutely. We'll take a deeper dive into Morton against Hearts over the weekend and into Monday's podcast. But just a quick wee note, Cammy, away from the Scottish Cup, it's an absolute cracker in the Championship. Another Fife derby, the 6th of the season, who can believe it? Wraith Rovers facing Dunfermline. Dundee United as well, of course, up against our Broth-year-old side, but the all eyes, if not on the Scottish Cup, will certainly be on the Fife derby, won't they? And it's a Wraith have had Dunfermline's number so far this season, but they really need a win to keep tabs with Dundee United.
Yeah, they need that win, Amy. They need to keep on that coattail of Dundee United, because the gaps all of a sudden seems to just start to creep away from them, and we're getting into the latter stages of the season as well. So it's a big game for Wraith, but flip it on the other side, a huge derby. Dunfermline need a win as well, so it's going to be an absolute cracker, which it always is in the Championship. You never know what way it's going to go. And again, even Dundee United, there's no given that they pick up the 3 points. So, one to look forward to as well.
Well, that's all we've got time for. My many thanks go to Cammy Bell and Joe Lewis, and thank you for listening. Remember, Aberdeen against Kilmarnock is live on BBC One Scotland on Saturday from 12 o'clock. Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland will have all the live action across the weekend, and Sports Scene will have your highlights on Saturday, Sunday and Monday evening. Liam McLeod, Aidan McGeady and Kevin Thompson will be back here on the Scottish Football Podcast with reaction to and analysis of all those matches and more on Monday morning. If you've got any questions for the guys, or if you want to share your thoughts on this weekend's game, our email address is scottishfootball@bbc.co.uk. Until next time, enjoy your weekend.
The Scotland Rugby Podcast is now available every Tuesday. Join me, Andy Burke and Tom English. Just head to BBC Sounds and subscribe to the Scotland Rugby Podcast.
It's just seismic stuff.
There's bucket hats as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is this a rugby podcast or is this a fashion podcast?
Why can't it be a bit of both?
Rugby. Let's get on to rugby.
There's a lot to be excited about.
Today's guest, John McGuigan.
Clubs are at the absolute bedrock of everything Scottish rugby's about.
The Rugby Sports Sound Podcast from BBC Radio Scotland.
You cannot help but be so excited. It's going to be the centre of the rugby universe.
BBC Sounds.